Wow, it's that time of the year again. It's time to set goals for our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, or not set goals because you failed so many times in the past that we've just given up. I mean, how many resolutions have you set and then decided, I messed up, I'm going to start again next week? Next month or next year. Yeah. But there's actually a science to setting goals so that you can stick to them. And this whole video is going to be about helping your children set goals for themselves so that they can keep themselves on track and achieve goals.
Yeah, so there are steps that we use so that we can meet with success when we set our goals. There are 3 actually. We want to make sure that they're achievable, that they're measurable, and that there's a deadline with each one of your goals.
Okay, so let's talk about an achievable goal. This just simply means that you're setting your goal just slightly above where current performance is. So if your child is looking to increase their homework turning in, if they're only turning in their homework about once a week now, don't let them set a goal for 5 times a week because they're sure to fail. And then every time that we fail at our resolutions, we're less likely to make resolutions or goals in the future. So help them understand that they should start their goal at maybe 3 times a week, something that they can actually attain.
Yeah, and you're saying 3 times a week. I mean, that's actually measurable. What we want to stay away from is setting goals that sound like, I just want to do a better job in turning in my homework, or I want to do more of something, or I want to lose less of something. So an example of a measurable goal, kind of like what Carrie was just talking about, is let's try to look at how many times we're doing it currently, maybe 1 time per week, and then eventually we come up with something where our goal would be 3 times per week. And over time, as we meet our goals, we can, increase the standards.
Perfect, yep. And then you want to have a deadline. You want to have a timeline that you're working on so it's not just this open-ended goal. So if your child has chosen homework as their goal, they want to turn their homework in 3 times a week, maybe until winter break, and then you can take a look at whether or not they met the goal and what they want to do going forward. When it's open-ended, it leaves it so difficult to know when is the end, when did I meet my goal, when do I access that reinforcer of meeting the goal.
And dinner time conversations is an excellent opportunity to talk about where we're at with our goals. It's an excellent opportunity for parents to talk about their goals so they can role model to their children what it's like to set goals and to try to achieve those goals throughout the time that they're working on the goals that they set for New Year's.
We talk a lot at Parent Like a Professional about how we as parents are always modeling for our kids. Our kids are constantly looking at us to know what they're supposed to do. So have it be a family affair. Have everybody set goals for themselves for the next year that are achievable and measurable and have a deadline. And then every week at dinner, you guys can talk about how we're doing on our goals. Identify what's stopping us from achieving the goals, because every now and then we'll hit barriers. So talk about it. Figure out how your child can get rid of that barrier for themselves. Don't get rid of the barrier for them. You're taking away their opportunity to figure out how to do it on their own. And one thing you might want to consider is to actually think about some sort of reward or reinforcer that you guys can give your child for accomplishing his or her goal. Everybody always talks about wanting their kids to just be intrinsically motivated, and that is the goal for all of our kids, of course, but we don't just wake up and have that be the reality. So sometimes we need to use external reinforcers initially, and once your child achieves their goal and feels that sense of pride, and then maybe you guys can do something as a family to celebrate your child achieving their goal, like going out to dinner or doing something when they hit that deadline and they've met their goal. Over time of doing that, just that feeling of pride is going to start to be that intrinsic motivation and reinforcement that your kid needs to be successful in the future.
And keep in mind, it's not just teaching your children how to set and achieve goals. These are foundation skills that are going to help them in the future. We want to see your children, our children, meet with success. Happy New Year and have a great 2022.
Happy resolution setting.